Compadre, comadre de Rock FM, bienvenido una vez más a la sección de entrevistas con algo que suena muy potente. Esto que escuchas es el último single, Tonight We Must Be Warriors, y es que tengo a mi lado a Johannes Eckerström.
Very good.
I said it right.
You said it about as right as I do. It's very annoying to say that in Swedish. Eckerström. No one has time for that. So I say Eckerström.
That's better. No one has time for that. Vale, a partir de ahora la entrevista va a ser en inglés, que te pondremos los subtítulos para que lo puedas ver, porque Johannes es el cantante de Avatar, una banda que nos va a visitar mucho. Bueno, Johannes, welcome to your house, to Rock FM.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, first of all, later on you will say my surname, that is Jacoto. I think it's as difficult as yours. Yeah.
Jacoto?
Jacoto. Oh, you speak
Jacoto.
French.
Yeah,
great.
Très bien.
Okay,
Easy.
Perfect. First of all, you came here to talk about the 3 shows you're going to have next year with us. How do we treat Avatar when you come to our stages?
Amazingly, but it's not just us. It's something I've been thinking about a lot, how, especially in the early days, right?
Yeah.
When you're the first band out on the billing and no one has ever heard you. Number one, Spanish people has the good taste in showing up in time for the opening band. And here's the thing, right? I know Spanish people who are introverted. I know Swedes who are extroverted. I'm one of them. But that being said, overall, the general culture, if you generalize a little bit, there's an extroverted generosity with your energy, especially around a time of celebration. That means, what that really means is that you get a lot for free. Like in the sense of just this, you're new, you go up on stage, and I feel like it's a room saying, hey, who are you? We are interested.
Yeah.
Instead of, maybe in Scandinavia, when you're in the same position, they say, who are you? So
in
already
a bad
there.
mood, no?
Yeah, sorry?
Like in a bad mood.
No,
not bad, but just...
It's like, you need to earn it, While people here say, oh, go, man, I'm sure you're going to be great.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I remember like 3-4 years ago at Rock Imperium that you had some problems and you start playing with us like talk and doing something because it was, I think, 7, 8 or really early hours and a lot of people were watching Avatar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that one. There was John's, our drummer's in-ear stuff stopped working and they were trying to solve that. What also always happens though is they try to fix it while I talk and they don't tell me anything is wrong until the very last second. So are you guys ready to... Johannes, stall. Oh, wait. Are you guys ready to hear me talk some more? All right. Knock, knock.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Okay, now we have to talk about what is in the forest. Because the new album that you're going to take out is Don't Go in the Forest. And what is behind that title?
Well, I'm in the forest. Basically,
it's like a challenge or how it is?
I think it depends on who you are. But I feel if you were one of those a little bit weird kids that was attracted to metal music to begin with, you maybe are one of those people who also, when you hear someone say, don't go in the forest, you say, I'm totally going in that forest.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I feel like that's heavy metal overall, right? This exploring the dark side and willingly diving into things that are hard. I think that's one of the things that heavy metal is at its very best. And it's this, we as a band, but I think the whole genre overall is this strange marriage between that, the darkness, the forbidden, the heavy stuff, everything from the psychological to out in the world. But at the same time, metal is also, it's powerful music, it's uplifting music, it gives you adrenaline, energy, and it's fun.
Could go in the same way.
Yeah, and it's weird because mostly if you read a novel about the topics of metal, it's not a happy novel. And other music genres that gives you energy, depending on what you like, I don't know. Salsa music doesn't sing about war usually. They sing about salsa and maybe dancing and maybe loving each other and stuff. Yeah. Kind of, but we are in this weird world where, you go and see Metallica, right? And you stand in a stadium with all your friends and you hold a beer, fist in the air, wow, Metallica! You do that whole thing and have a great time. And then they sing a song about a guy with no arms, no legs, who wants to die.
Yeah.
And somehow this coexists, which is, I think, useful because I think it's healthy to deal with the dark. It's healthy to have a good time. It's catharsis. And the forest is a one way of describing that place where it happens. I kind of imagine it being in my head, it's directed by David Lynch, right? So, the woods outside of Twin Peaks, if you would go out there at night and you would be lost and cold, afraid, and you go deeper and deeper into the wilderness until you see a strange light between the trees. You approach that strange light, you start hearing music, and at some point it opens up to a meadow, and there's a circus tent there. And out of that tent comes music, you step inside. That's the world of Avatar, So,
could you describe the world of Avatar with one word?
Well,
the show. First the show and then the music, because I think there are separate ways.
Yeah, I think they come together in the term that it's a metal circus.
Yeah.
Not circus metal, because that sounds silly. But if you reverse the places to a metal circus,
it's more than just a show of 4 or 5 people taking music. It's like you take to the next step.
It's theatrical, right? It's not. I've been thinking about that. It's not theater because we're not actors.
Kind of, no?
Well, but then we did a little movie for our album Avatar Country where we actually have dialogue, and I'm telling you, we are not actors. But
James Cameron is not talking to you, no?
No, and we had the name first.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
But also to be on stage, of course we perform, we're performers, and we are reactors, because that's also the difference between theater or ballet, opera, the classical stage arts. The audience is passive. You sit down and you enjoy the show. Then at some point you get rock and roll shows, or you get raves, or you get magic shows, or you get comedy shows that is interactive, that the audience really matters what they do, and then your role is a bit different, and that's why I would call it theatrical rather than theater, because we borrow from that world. We have set pieces and act things out to a certain degree, but it's still it's rock and roll first,
Rock and roll is first. That's pretty cool, yeah. And talking about the scene, because here in Spain, there could be, some people say that metal is now in third times, but in Spain, for example, we have a lot of festivals like Resurrection Fest, Rock Imperium, and it's going really high. I think that thoughts of metal is now in the poor days. I'm not really thinking that. I don't know what's your position about it.
I mean, no, sometimes it has I would say the opposite overall, because of certain bands putting Avatar out of the equation. When I see Gojira open the Olympic Games,
yeah, pretty cool. Yeah.
When I there's more examples, but now my mind. When I see how big a band like Lorna Shore can get with such extreme music, and there are endless examples around this. I feel it's doing as well as it ever has. And then sometimes it becomes a bit trendier. Sometimes a band captures the zeitgeist and we get a bit more attention. But in between, we have each other in the metal world, and we never really go away. And the rebellious nature of it, all the qualities in metal, there will always be a certain kind of person that will need that and find great use in that, enjoyment in that. So in that sense, I don't see it ever going anywhere. As a matter of fact, a Swedish music journalist, he wrote a book, I think in the early 2000s, about fan culture. And each chapter was about, was some boy band thing and whatever, but it was a chapter where the fans he talked to were Judas Priest fans. Yeah. And the chapter starts with a quote, something like this: after the great nuclear apocalypse happens, and everything is dead, there will be 2 living species still alive, and it's cockroaches and metalheads.
Okay.
Because, and sometimes it explodes. When I got into metal, like when I was, 14, around that age, that was a huge revival wave in year 2000 around,
Which
Bruce,
band?
Multiple things, like...
the one that blew your mind and say, okay, I have to get into this.
The big change was with Halloween.
Yeah.
That my brother introduced me to. But in the world at large, this is when Rob Halford came back to Priest around that time, and Black Sabbath were back, and Rob Halford was back in Judas Priest, and all those things, and there was a new metal wave, and all of Europe at least enjoyed all those Finnish bands and Swedish bands. So there was a lot of things happening all at once when I was around that age, and it got a bit extra attention, which is great. But at the core of it, we keep it alive no matter how much mainstream attention we get.
Sure. Also, it depends if you get into TikTok algorithm or not. No, all that stuff.
Well, we are now in a position where I pay someone.
Yeah.
No, like I'm good at being. I'm good content. I'm not a good content creator. So.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That could be the best words for this interview. And later on, later back, you talk about your name was first from the TV or the film of James Cameron.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? That Avatar. What's the name of
John,
the band?
our drummer. So the band was founded by him asking Jonas, "Hey, should we start a band?"
Yeah.
When they were 14, 15 years old. And he had just in school learned, because Avatar to begin with comes from Hinduism, and it's when one of those gods manifests himself on Earth in a human form or in an animal form. So basically, the idea of a god in disguise. So that behind that flesh is this great, powerful being, and that. So that is the origin for us for the name. And, hey, that's cool, and we didn't know that is what it was called. If you play, online games or...
I didn't know about that.
If you have a little guy, your little,
I know
your
what
little
you're talking
orc,
about.
That's your avatar, or your little profile picture in a forum, that was an avatar.
It's a little close to what you are doing,
so
honestly.
So it's a manifestation of something greater. So the idea in the beginning then was some kind of this unleashing a hidden potential. And then, of course, through the years, it becomes a name of a band.
Yeah. Going back to the album, that's why you are here also, Don't Go in the Forest. You told us that you have done new things you haven't done in the other music. What are those things?
Well, a big one for me was how to approach the vocals.
Huh?
There's a part of me that still feels like in order to make a performance metal, you need to sweat during the actual performance, right? That is why also just on the drum, we never used, sound replacement technique on the drums.
No.
Which is common nowadays, that you kind of record your drummer, but then you put a sample bank with the sounds of a more famous drummer hitting.
During the live, no?
No, but also on the
recording.
Album, on the album, to have a more big, expensive sound that gets more generic.
Yeah.
We never did that, and and we need to actually hit things hard. We have very distorted guitars, but not as distorted as people would think, because they just beat the crap out of their guitars. So that's at the core of kind of creating the sounds. And I had a very similar approach to the way I would sing.
Yeah.
Metal is when it hurts. Metal is when I faint. Metal is sing with your whole body, and that's still true, but. Then, as we have a very old school, we're not doing retro music, but very old school ideals in certain ways around musicianship and
with new technology, on that stuff.
Yeah.
And new things on your shows, like on live.
We. Sorry, now I lost track.
No, talking about like the theater you are doing on stage.
Yeah, no, we. It's going to be bigger than ever.
Oh yeah.
It's because we can.
That's good. That's
good. We booked bigger venues, and it's bad in the microphone if I knock on the table, but I'm knocking on wood.
That's metal.
That enough people show up. That we, so we can come back again. But basically, there are a couple of things that we have never done before technologically on stage. Some new little inventions that
just
the guy we work with. No, I don't want to spoil too much, but there are just wheels on things that didn't have wheels in the past when we used them. But it's all about finding this balance. It's it's the metal circus. And you want three things to fit in there as far as set lists go and the performance overall. One is tradition, because now there's certain songs that needs to be played. And of course, I need to wear that red coat on Bloody Angel and those kind of things,
Yeah.
Because we built that with our audience. And then you have the new stuff. And we play a lot of new music,
That's
all in all. Yeah, and it's important for us, because it was important for us to make this album, And with that comes also new ideas for the stage shows and the light show. And
just further and further.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And what's the next step for Avatar?
Well,
because you have been playing with Iron Maiden, Metallica, have a tour amazing with 3 shows here in Spain. The next step is?
Well, let's see where we land after this. Like it's now, because this has become our lives, so it's a constant ongoing thing where, you know, of course, we can talk steps when we sit and have a strategic meeting about we run our own label now since the last album. And with that comes thinking in steps and maneuvers and music business talk, and I fall asleep and check my phone. And but
the other face of the music that the people don't know about it.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, the things that in order for whatever we came up with at home in the couch with a guitar in our lap, you know, to turn that into something that you get to hear and that
the people can go to see you.
Yeah. But so the next step, it's just an ongoing thing of keep finding things that we get excited about and curious about. And of course, then you have those big dreams that I can't even say are steps yet, in terms of we finally started to tour Latin America, for instance, which was amazing. And we can't wait to do more of that on this album. We finally came to Australia, and, you know, but this planet is pretty big and there's lots of places to go. And for instance, I feel like bands from who come from this, you know, northwestern part of the map. We don't go nearly enough to Africa with our stuff, you know. So that is my big secret dream, to somehow pull that off and see.
Just take Avatar to every corner of the world.
Exactly.
Huh? Okay. So I would like to say one last thing, that is, tack for at du kom till RockFM. I didn't say.
Gracias. I wish I could say more than that in Spanish.
No, it's okay. No, it's like saying thank you for coming to RockFM.
You nailed it. You did very good.
Not nailed, but
no, you really did good.
So I will say we have you here in Madrid, Barcelona, and Bilbao, 24, 25, and 28 of February of the next year. So I hope you can come to our RockFM and tell us about the tour and everything about it.
I would love to do that. Thank you.